Okay, good morning. Hey, sorry. Oh, okay, it's morning anyway. Oh, it's evening. Yeah, 12 a.m. So it's morning. So, um, let's do a quick recap of what we did yesterday. Mm, so yesterday we we go through arrays. We go through arrays and we define what arrays are, different ways of accessing elements in array, different ways of defining and initializing arrays. Then we did some few example of arrays. Then we look at different dimensions of array, different dimension of multi-dimensional arrays. Look at two-dimensional arrays, three-dimensional arrays, and how you can look through two-dimensional arrays and three-dimensional arrays. And we also give some example of how arrays are being used in game development. So we have this first example and then we have the second example here of how games are being developed in C++. Games that use arrays. Few examples of how games uses arrays. So today, what we are going to do is we are going to look at structs or what we call structures in C++. So let's create our file. So we have part 5. Yesterday when we doing the array, someone asked a question of whether we can have different data types within an array. So today we look at how to get different data types within an array using structs and also how struct is being used. So today our class will be a little bit short. So we are going to only look at struct. Yeah. So only structs. Because some of the topics I want us to always make it short so that you have time to grasp it and understand it very well. So here we are just writing our basic hello world. So as we usually do. So we add our angle and we add our using namespace. So we'll see how we can combine arrays and structs, how we can combine the arrays, what we did previously, and then struct together. So that's basically what we are going to do today. So let's compile our hello world program. Let's set up the compiler for that new file we created. So we save this file. basic 5. So our code has compiled. Welcome to Structs. So let's begin the topic. So we said we are going to look at structures. So structs, or some people call structures. So we said structures or structs. So we say structures or structs are user defined. And come on, let me admit someone. Okay. So let's continue. We say struct are user defined data types and what C++ used to what group different 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 variables under what a single name. So that is basically what a struct is. And we said and we will say um a variable in a struct is called what a member of the struct. So each variable is called a member of the struct. So let's see how we can define a struct. Let's define a basic template of a struct. So we have the struct, then you bring the curly braces, then you define your data types. Let's say int number one, have number one, then we can have string, then number two, and so on. So this one is a int variable, and this one is a string variable. Or we can say string member variable or int member variable, any of them. So let's see how we can create a simple struct. So creating a struct. So first we bring the keyword struct. So when you are going to create a struct, you bring what the keyword struct. So this will indicate that okay, what we are creating within this curly braces is a struct. So let's say we have age, Then we have string. Let's say we have first name, and then string. Let's say we have status, or let's give a boolean here. Boolean say status, or let's just leave these two in. Let's work with only these two. So after defining this, then we can give what a name to this struct. Let's say the name is person struct. So that would be the name of the struct. So after defining it, then you give it what a name, then you bring what your semicolon. So that is basically how a struct is what created. So this is a basic struct that we have created. So let's see how we can assign assigning values to us to what to have values to members of a struct. So to assign values, first what we'll do is we what call the struct, then we access what the value. So in this case we have what age, then we'll say age is equals to 30, and then we can have what another struct, and we access it using the dot. So this one will be the first name, and we say the first name is equals to what, let's say Anthony. So now let's output what the values. So when we get to classes, you see how like the similarities or the difference between a struct and what and a class. They have they look similar, but they have different use cases. And then we'll see when we get to also enums, we see the similarities or the difference between enums and what structs in C++. So let's print out this. So we say age, person struct age. So to print it out, we just what call the struct and access what the age, the member age, and then let's access what the first name, and then we access the member what name, first name, first name. So let's compile this and see what we'll get. Okay, our code that has compiled. Now let's run it and see. So as you can see, we have what 30 and what, and then what the name 30, and then what the name is what Newton. So let's see another way of what defining struct. So you can what use one struct for what a multiple what variables, or multiple what variable names. So for example, let's say our struct, we define the struct here. Then we say int, or let's just say int here. Let me see, this one we use only 2, so this one let's use like 3 or 4. And then we have string, let's say color, and then double. Then we have let's say mouse. Then we have another double, or we can say float, speed. Then let's see how we can give like different variable names to it. So let's say our first one is Toyota. Then we use the comma to separate what each variable that we want. So our next one will be what, Tesla, and then the other one will be Rive, or is it let me see, the Toyota, Tesla, which other car name? Oh,
CRV.
CRV. Is it like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one we have what? Made one struct with what? Multiple variable what? Name. So we have what? Toyota, Tesla, and what? CRV. So 3 different cars. And each of them we can what? We can what? Assign each of them to what? A different what? Different member variable what value. So for example, let's say Toyota, let's say the year equals to 2010. They are old, so we say Toyota dot color. Let's say the color is red. So let's say Toyota. The miles, they have small miles ranges, so just say it's like 100.5654. Then we have the speed. So let's say it's like 200.567. So this is our first struct. So we have the Toyota struct. Then let's define our Tesla onto. So we go here, Tesla struct. Oh, so we say Tesla. Yeah, we say Tesla here. Tesla, so we can say 2022 or 23. They are very latest, so we can say the color is black. And then we can say that the miles, so we can say 1000. And we can say the speed, they have a lot of speed, so say 2000. Now let's add our CRV. So we said what CRV struct. So we say CRV dot year. Let's say 2000, and then we have CRV color. Let's make it white, and then CRV dot miles. We'll make this one to 200 miles, and CRV dot speed. So we'll make this 500 dot. Oh, let's make this one to dot 8. So now let's see how we can print. Let's output each of them. So we say cout, we say Tesla, let's having more speed of, then we what add what the Tesla speed here. So we say more speed of what, done. Then we say Toyota, then the Toyota, which is having the speed. So let's compile this and then we run. So here we're saying that Tesla is having more speed of what, 2003.4 than what. Let me add the space here so that this thing will be clear. Than Toyota, which have a speed of, and let's compile again. So we are saying Tesla is having more speed of what, 2000. I'm coming, let me admit someone in the okay. So we are saying Tesla is having more speed of what? Then we what? Get the Tesla speed. Then we said than Toyota, which have a speed of what? Then we get what? The Toyota speed. So this is how we can what? Access and then what? Print out what the value and compare what? Two different what? Variable structs. Okay. So let's go to our next subtopic, which is name structs. Name structs. So let's say name structs, let's say they are just name given to what a struct, and you can treat them as what a data types, like a single standing data type, or let's say it's also somewhere it's also like giving creating an instance of a struct. When we say an instance, it's like when we have a class and then you create an instance of the class. Or for example, when you have a data type and you say, so we can say the data type and then you bring what the variable name. So with name structs, they allow you to do something like this, like to have the data type and then the variable name. But here, instead of what the data type, you can what bring what the struct name there. So let's see how we can define. So let's say name, the what names to what struct, and you can what treat them, treat it or them as or a data type. So let's see how we can create one. So we can, so this one, instead of bringing the name at the last, we can what bring the name what first. So let's say mammal. How do you spell mammals? Is it like this? Let me see. Mammals, yeah. So this is how it is. So we have a class called mammals, and here we can have what the age, and we can have what, let's say class, or maybe let's just say name. That one will be more specific. So after that, we bring our semicolon here. So this is how we create a name struct. So now let's create an instance, or what create what a variable with what this struct. So in order to create an instance or a variable with this struct, we can say what mammals, and then we say good. So this is an example of how we can use what uh, um, uh, the name struct. So now let's see how we can what assign what those values. So we have goat. So let's say the goat, the name is funny, the goat. Let's say the goat name is the goat age rather. Sorry, the goat is like 5 years, and then the goat name is mm, let me do something here. How did they spell Messi? Is it like this? I'm not a Messi fan though, so I'm just using that name. So we can say the goat name is equals to Messi, or let's say C Ronaldo, or any other name that you want, you can add. So let's print out this and see. So we say C out, and we can say goat name, say goat name. Then we can come, let's compile and see. Okay, and we see we get our goat name as what? Messi. So that's how we can use what? Name struct to what define what. So this one is like we are treating it like a data type. So this goat is having a data type of this int and what string all combined with together, because we said what when we were defining our struct, we said what they are user defined data type in C++ used to group what different variables under what a single name. Yeah, so that is basically how we can use what struct. So these are just the basis of structs. Uh, these are everything you need to create what a struct. So let's see how we can use struct in what, like how struct is used in example of struct in games. So like how this being used in games. So let's define struct. So we say character. How do they spell character nowadays? Like this. Yeah. So character is like a player or something like that, you know. So we say the name of the character. We can have the health, and then we can have what? Let's say the attack damage, the attack damage that the player can cause, maybe to um to an enemy. So here we are using what we call what a name struct, as we just did the example that we just did on top. So this is a name struct. So as I said, so here we will create what an instance of what the character. So as I so to create the instance of the character, we have what the character, and we call this one player what one. So this is an instance of what the character. When we get to classes, you see that we would still use this. We use this to still define what instances of what classes. So let's say player one dot what name. Let me find someone name here and then put it inside. We have, let's say Shaibu. Then we say player one dot help. Let's make the help 10. Then we say player one. Then we say attack damage. Let's make it like 20. So his attack damage is what? 20. So with this if one, we can create what? We can create another uh, another player what instance. Let's say player 2, we can have player 3, and each of them will what have for different what instances. So let's print what the player details. Let's compile and print the player details. Okay, player one. Okay, sorry, I didn't add it. As I said, if you are using name struct, after the this thing, you just add a semicolon. This thing. So here we have what player name is what? We say Shaibu, and then we say his health or what is attack, or his health is what 10, and then the attack what damage is what 20. So that's an example of how we can use struct what in what game development. So let's see how we can combine um struct with what arrays. Because yesterday someone asked like why is it that we can have like different data types in array? Like when we define this array, we just make it what one data type. Like this one, we have integer, and then it's a must that we will just have like only integers within this, or maybe we have a string. Then everything in that array will just be a string. So let's see how, for example, this one we have string, and then everything inside is what string. So let's see how we can what combine what struct with what arrays. And one thing too about struct is we can define them outside of what this main class. That doesn't necessarily mean to like maybe be inside the main class. So you can define them outside the main class, and you can still what call them in the what. For example, let's use one outside of what the main function. So let's create one here called what enemy. So we are still using games example. So let's say in this one too we can have what the enemy name, or let's say enemy ID, because for the enemies we don't need their names. So let's say the health, and then let's say the enemy attack, because enemies too they attack, like they attack and they also have like range health. So when you are shooting the enemy, it can also die. And when the enemy attack you, like the number of points that it should deduct from your health. And when you also attack, the number of points it should detect from the enemy health, and so forth. So let's now come into the main here, and then what we define, what we create our instance of what the enemy class. So but first let's create let's say const int, because we are combining arrays with what struct. Let's say we create what our number of enemies that we want to display on the screen. Let's say we want 3. Then here, that's where the magic happens. So we are going to what create an instance of what the struct with what an array. So we are giving the array a data type of what the struct we created as what enemy. So let's call that struct here enemy, and then we say what enemies. Then as yesterday we discussed, if you want to create an array, this is how you do it. Then we give what the size enemies, and then what we equate it. So now we have created what an array with what a data type of what enemy, which can store what different what enemies. Okay, yeah. So I'm coming. Let me change this one back to name, so that we can give like some funny names for the enemies. So our first array is what we will define what enemy